Hello everyone to LIBU Talk. Today's show is in English because mainly my guests are English speakers. So if you have been subscribing to the channel LV and you have been watching the show LIBU Talk or Hadith LIBU, we had an episode with two lovely artists from Morocco. They're Amazigh. They have established Azah band, a professional Azah band in 2003. And when we had a chat with them last episode, we have talked briefly about Mr. Fattah's Abu project, and that is teaching non-Amazigh speakers Tamazight music. And not only Tamazight music, but literally lyrics. They speak, they sing lyrics in Tamazight, not the modern one, but the ancient literature of Moroccan culture as we know it. Some of it is Gnawa and all that, and we know it's complicated and it's very difficult. So that is very fascinating. And the reason why I'm saying this to you, because I have Mr. Fattah with me today again, and not only him, but his students, to talk more about this amazing project. And that is very, very, very impressive. So hello, Mr. Fattah again, Azul Fillak. Azul, Mr. Fattah's students, everyone. I'm just going to mention your names, but obviously everyone is free to speak whenever they want to. So students are Angela, Sandra, Nancy, Katie, Sarah, Kian, and Matthew. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for accepting my invitation on LIBU Talk. So thank you. So I think my first question that comes in mind would be, how did you all hear about it? How did you all hear about the school, Mr. Fattah School? You choose who wants to talk.
Whatever you guys.
Nancy.
I think all
or maybe,
yeah,
maybe, sorry. Sorry, maybe.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, go on.
I think all of us first heard Azah play, and we fell in love instantly with the music. And then one by one, we found out about the classes and joined that way. And most of us have been to Morocco and fallen in love with the Moroccan people and the culture and especially the music.
Oh, great. So I was going to say, or to ask, how did you hear about it? And also I was going to ask, why did you join? And I think you included that in your answer. If anybody else wants to add to that? Well, different experiences. Did you all join in the same time?
No. I think Ken and I were started at about 10.5 years ago.
Right.
And,
wow.
Yeah, and we asked Fattah to teach us whatever he was doing. At that time, he wasn't teaching, but he said yes. So we had pretty much a whole different group than we do today. And our first song was Hamdoushia.
It's a Gnawa song.
Yeah. Gnawa song. Oh my God, yeah, and they're lovely. Obviously, they're the core of culture of Morocco and North Africa in general, and they are beautiful songs. I mean, I am a Tamazight, but it's very difficult to learn the lyrics if you don't know it, and I congratulate you. It's amazing what you're doing. So you have actually listened to Mr. Fattah or Azah, the band, playing live, and then you just loved the music and you wanted to learn it.
I think one important detail is that Fattah brings so much joy through his music, and that is very infectious, and I think many of us were drawn to Fattah and his in particular because he brings so much joy and enjoyment of the music.
Yeah.
And is a very patient and just lovely person to be around. So I think many of us were drawn to him as a person and as a teacher, and also to the joy that he brings through his music. So it wasn't just the music itself, but
Oh, thank you.
Him as a person. I think that no, I think that is extremely important, very, very important. The person who represents the material, the person who represents the project, or you know what they do, to draw people to it. Mr. Fattah, Ms. Fattah, I would like to ask you about the idea of starting the school. What made you think of it? What and is it difficult to do a project like this? Would you say to other Amazigh artists in different other countries in the world that, you know, it's something that they could do, or is it hard, or what made you think of starting this?
I mean, the thing of teaching for me was part of a bigger vision that I always had in since I moved. You know, I became an immigrant, and I always wondered. I always say this because we in North Africa, I can talk about Morocco. We have a culture or a subculture of immigration that was established by the people that were some of them, you know, taken like in the late 50s, 60s to France and Belgium and other places in order to rebuild basically some infrastructures of Europe that were destroyed after the war. But these people in the beginning, when they were there, they were kind of, they called them the invisibles, because most of these countries, they thought these people would just come and they will do the job and someday they will go back. You know what I mean? Of course,
yeah.
And you know, with everything now that's happening with the thing of immigration. So that established kind of a culture of the immigrant that goes somewhere in order to realize economic stability and help home. It's like they're bringing back more than they are taking to the culture, like the culture that's hosting them, right? And when I came here to United States, because that was the vision of immigration that I have. When I came here, I found it's quite different. This is a country after, of course, wiping out the indigenous culture. You know, it's like this is the culture of the immigrant, right? And there's a lot of people here. I have to say that one. Because you can't just say it's the country of the immigrants. You have to recognize the natives. So then when the people came in here, so everybody brought in their own culture, because immigration here, when people came here, they were not thinking of going back. It's not like the whole thing that we have. So they brought with them something. And when I saw a lot of different things that were happening in here, it's a multi, you can find just in this small town that I lived in, you can see all types of music, from Balkan to gamelan, you know, from Indonesia to, you see all kinds of different music. So then I'm like, what do I bring? Not what do I take, right? So I had that, and before I started teaching the classes, my first attempt, and I was here only for 3 years, was to create a mini festival to make people know about my culture, right? So I applied for a grant, and the funny thing is that when I applied, when they called me, they liked the project. When they called me for the panel, they told me, "Do you have an Amazigh community here?" I said, I have 4 people. And they said, "How do you want to do a festival with 4 people?" So anyway, but so
you created your own community.
Exactly. So from that, then the thing of teaching comes in within that. I wanted to plant the seed of this culture so that other people would take it. This people right here would one day teach it to others, and it keeps going until it creates our presence here also in the United States. Yeah. So that's sorry, I talk too much.
No, I love it. It helps me a lot in my show. What I wanted to say is basically, you know, I haven't heard, I'm a journalist, and I haven't heard of any Amazigh artist who did what you did, or doing what you're doing. Most of us, when we go to different countries, well, I mean, the first thing they think of is to create a school to teach their children Amazigh in Europe, because, you know, they don't want them to lose the language, so they teach them Amazigh, and sometimes they manage to do that. Like you said, how many people you have in your community, and if you have enough, then you open a school. But no one opened a musical or a music school. Maybe you'll do musical in the future, but that'll be great. But a music school is and to teach a culture that has been it's, I don't know how many years, it's an ancient kind of poetry and literature that you're teaching, and you don't know the outcome. Or did you know the outcome? My question was, is it easy? Is it difficult? Would you say anyone can do that?
No, definitely. I will have to give credit to these people, because I've had, as I was saying, a lot of other different people. There were people that stayed for 3 years, they moved out or they went somewhere. But, you know, it really takes some dedication, you know, I mean, both from the students and from me also. So these people right here are the most dedicated, committed, and they put so much work into like learning. Apart from the classes, when they go home also, they really work on their material in order to, because it's, as I was saying, it's really hard to especially with the culture, like the music heritage, that, especially from the South, that's not academically documented. So you have to make up all these tools of conveying, you know, the ideas. And I learn also during the process. I learn so much, you know, because there's things that you take for granted. You go like, oh, this is just what we do. But then you find how are they going to understand that? How am I going to break it down? So it's a whole process. And myself also lately, just a parenthesis, I've been thinking, I might have, I don't want to do the same mistake that's done in our culture because of lack of documentation. Then things get harder. You know, when people don't document things, then a person that comes in
very organized.
Yeah, they will do the same mistakes again, then they have to figure it out. So I have a project in my mind to document these tools that I use. Maybe somebody else want to use them, you know, in the future if they want to teach other people. So it's we're pioneering in this, and we're just going. We're going sometimes with a vision, but you know, sometimes it changes with whatever comes in the future.
I just want.
I mean,
go on. When you asked if it was easy and all of us were going, no, I think all of us, at least for me, I'm thinking this is not easy for Fatah. That he works so hard, so much patience, doing the same lines over and over and over, because that's how you learn, is through constant repetition. And he's, not everyone has the patience for that, and not everyone has that much joy within themselves to communicate that.
Thank you.
Lovely. Yeah, I agree. If you're not committed and you know, you're not passionate about what you're doing, it's very difficult to see results. And Sandra, is it Sandra who said it was 10 years since you started this?
Yeah. An important thing. Sorry. Well, one important thing how Fatah introduced the music was from a culture that had forgotten or didn't really have the pride of the music, and so he taught us to take it in to our heart in order to keep the songs alive. And I think we're kind of bridging that, because now it's different from when 10 years ago. It's different now, and the culture, the Amazigh culture, sees this, and they take pride in who they are and where they came from. So that's a big part of it for me. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to come to, and I wanted to ask everyone. I want to hear from everyone this. I am as an Amazigh. I know what Tamazight means to me. Fatah knows what Tamazight means to him. It means who he is, his identity, my identity. But to you guys, women and men, what does it mean, the culture, to you now, after you've experienced the music, you visited Morocco, you've seen a lot of things that you probably didn't know because the media, I mean, mainly me and my friends that we've done this show, is because media doesn't cover the dark areas in North Africa. Our identity has been replaced by another one. And so if you speak to a taxi driver while he's driving you somewhere and he asks you, so where are you from? You would say Libya or Morocco. He'll be like, oh, so you speak Arabic. And that's the identities and the Arabic world and all these political terms on the media. But you experience this. So what does it mean to you? What does it, what would you be interested in, Tamazight? What does it mean to you now that you've seen? And
I feel like it's been this precious jewel of an opportunity for me myself to go on this journey to actually be able to study with an indigenous person from a culture has so much of that direct connection and attunement and carrying the beauty of a really, really old culture. And so for me, I feel like it's just such a huge honor to be able to learn songs and to learn the language to learn Tamazight, which is just so, so old, and to be on the journey and the whole complicated process of like, oh, wow, how do I learn this as a person from America with such limited access and tools? And for me, I've been studying Tashahit for several years now, and it's just been such a special journey. And I feel like as people who are living in a more globalized time where things are, harder to come across, finding things that have such like a precious origins and that have been more marginalized and less appreciated and have been tried to be covered over or like obliterated altogether. I feel like for me, it's even more of a calling to like support that beauty and to really honor what's been and what still has chance to flower. So yeah.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful.
Yes.
What she said.
Yeah, what she said.
No, I want to hear from everyone. Only come on, Matthew, without the
With one T.
with one T, yes, without the double T, one T.
Yeah. Well, I definitely echo what Sarah just said. That is a huge reason of why I'm attracted to Fatah and to learning this music. To have the opportunity, as Sarah said, to study with a master such as Fatah, as a musician myself, who has had many teachers over the years, and studied different styles of music. I've never met anyone as open and joyous and patient of a teacher as Fatah. And yeah, it's just incredible the amount of fun that we have while we're learning and growing as musicians. And yeah, it just feels like such a gift that we have Fatah in our community and that we're able to do it. So that is one reason that I am doing it. And I've yet to travel to Morocco and to see the beautiful land of the Amazigh people, and that's something I'm excited to do when travel is open and safe again. I'm very excited to experience that.
So did you, Matthew, just join the group recently, or have you been from before? Because I know the other group.
Yeah, I've been doing it kind of on and off, but have more seriously been doing it this year. Have committed more to it. So it's newish. Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely. Well done. Well done. I envy you. I wish if I was in California, I would have joined you. Okay, everyone else, anyone else to tell me what is the Amazigh culture means to them now? You know, the concept of it from like before.
Well, for me, I've always been interested in other cultures. I've always been interested in the other ways that people live in the world. And I think something people need to understand about America is, of course, we're all immigrants, and some of us are internal immigrants because it's such a big country. Our ancestors are inside the country. So in California here, we're kind of the immigrants of immigrants of immigrants, and that's an interesting piece. And all around us,
very interesting, yeah.
All around us here in this part of California, we can see a lot of different cultures. So I've always been interested in cultures. Fatah has a special magnetism to him. And there's times when things pop into your life that you just think, this is great. I have no idea what this means to me or where it's going to take me, but I really want to know more about it. And it's just an impulse, and it develops into a passion. It's been a beautiful thing. And the way I really connect to Amazigh culture is traveling to Morocco and meeting the Amazigh people in Morocco. And they're such sweet, wonderful, hospitable people that it's just brought me in over and over again. Sandra and I've been to Morocco maybe 6 times now, and we just can't wait.
Wow.
To go. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't been 6 times.
Well, come with us. Join us.
Well, I had this invitation, so yeah, you guys make people want to join you because it's such a beautiful, positive energy you all have. That's lovely. I know that maybe you all have, you know, you're in the same track and you're doing the same thing, but I so far got 3 different answers, even though they might sound the same, but I've got different points from each one of you. So I want to get more points and then I'll highlight them. So if anybody wants to tell me again what
well, you said, you know, Fatah and you, it's, you know, it's your identity. And I'm sure you both would have a lot of nuanced things to say about what Amazigh is to you as well. But if I take that question really, like, what does Amazigh or the Amazigh culture mean to me? Or what role, or how do I relate to it? I think what it means really personally to me right now is this, there's an opening to this mysterious and beautiful and with ancient connections, but a modern and thriving culture filled with richness and music and language, and it's complicated the way it lives in Morocco and relates to everyone else in the Arabic culture. But it's this, like, I really relate to the word Sarah said as a jewel. It feels like this precious thing that normally, how would I have any access or invitation into that rich and diverse world that has such ancient roots, but is also living and alive today? And as someone who lives in this culture, I lack that immediate access to things that are that old and that have those stories that go back so far, and I long for a connection to that, and so to me, I think what Amazigh and Amazigh culture means to me, learning the language, like being able to access the language, being able to have Fatah, who is ushering us in, like inviting us in. If I just show up in Morocco as myself, I'm a tourist and I have limited access.
Yes.
And
that's an interesting point.
Yeah, and even if I tried to learn the language a little bit, that helps me. But no way could I go into this deep of a journey into the music, which is really I see as a huge heart of the Amazigh culture is the music, the rhythms, and within it the language. So I think to me, what Amazigh culture means to me is this. Somehow I like lightning bolt struck me out of all the people in the world. Somehow I ended up in Santa Cruz. Somehow I ended up learning from Fatah. And what it means to me is this incredibly rare and special opportunity through Fatah and through the music and through our friendships in this group to access and reach and connect in a meaningful way with a culture that is so rich. And I'll never understand it the way Fatah does, but that feels like my impossible goal, and the journey to get there, to become inside of it and to be changed and moved and have my Western mind get untied and retied in different ways, is what inspires me. So I feel like it's an invitation that is once in a million lifetimes that somehow I get this opportunity. And yeah, it's a jewel. It's just a beautiful culture and complicated.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting. I like that input. That's lovely. Anyone else?
Okay, so I'm last. That's hard to go last. For sure. But yeah, I haven't joined for very long. I think it's been about a year. But beyond the personal journey that this music has been for me, just in terms of learning an instrument for the first time and singing in front of people and learning this language and all the different personal challenges and insecurities that I've faced just in this process, beyond all of that, it's been a beautiful journey in and of itself. I think I've always realized and felt the keeping alive of something bigger than myself, and that this isn't really about me. Like, it's partly about me and my journey with the music, but partly and mostly it's keeping something, like they were saying, precious, alive, that's so much bigger than just me. So I try to keep that in my heart when I'm playing the music, and like just singing to, sometimes I get nervous to sing in front of people, but if I imagine singing for something bigger, the culture, for the world, for all of these precious gems around the world that are what we want to keep alive, then that brings me back to the purpose.
Thank you for that. Have I heard from everyone? I think I haven't heard from everyone. Yeah, not everyone.
Yeah, I think we got everyone, right? Yeah. Yeah, everyone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what I heard is that a very strong message, by the way, this from all what you've said, especially to the locals, like in North Africa, because I come from there, and the word open is extremely important. That to accept other cultures and accept different people and accept different backgrounds, and it's extremely powerful message. Accept the others, and we did have a conflict in North Africa because of this. But in the ancient times, obviously, the Amazigh people accepted all religions, all beliefs, all different people, and this powerful message, I think we need it a lot these days, because the more you accept things and other people and discover different cultures, the more peaceful life we have. And I think this is very powerful what you guys all said, the connection to the ancient cultures and obviously the traveling, meeting new people, seeing new things. It's all nice, and it's amazing what you can get from a project. We might, if you are okay with it, so if we could play some music, and because I've got a lot of other questions, and I want to know more and hear more from you, but it would be nice if we hear some music from you to sort of, so we don't feel very bored just from talking.
Perfect. Yes. All right. So this song that we're gonna do, it's kind of a little modern. It's called Untitled. It's like we're held up or suspended. That's what it means. It's a Izenzarn. It's a band that's still around. They're still playing. It's from the south of Morocco, and we love covering some of their material from time to time.
Did you mention the name, Fatah? What's the name?
It's called Untitled.
Three, the band.
No, the band is Isenzarn.
Isenzarn. That's what I needed to know.
Yes, exactly. And the song isn't Dri, which means we're held up or we're suspended. So, and it goes like this. I'm gonna try. We're gonna try.
Wow. 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 Amazing. Amazing. Perfect. Just everything was in order and it was fun. I just didn't want you to finish, guys. I just wanted to go on and on and on. It's just beautiful. So, like I said, that was amazing. A lot of fun. I just wanted you to go on and on. Really, honestly, it was wonderful. And it makes me wonder how do you manage to sing in a language that you don't understand? And again, this question. Sorry, I didn't mean it as it sounded, but what I meant is like it is a more challenge for you to sing with a language that it's not your mother tongue language. You know what I mean? So, how do you able to sing a poetry and a literature that you don't understand? And this is a question for everyone, and anyone can answer.
Well, for one, Fatah, one line, Uragi Slave. Okay, we're going to sing that like 50 times. Uragi Slave, Uragi Slave, Uragi Slave. And, so repetition is definitely a huge part of internalizing it. But everyone else could say other things too. Of course, he translates it. He creates context for us to understand. We learn about the band Izin Zaden or things like that. But a lot of repetition and looking at the translation, and I think many of us are picking up words here and there, and so it's like, oh, it's this word that we know, shrajam, or or laib, or whatever the words are, and that can help us remember the lines. But go over these songs a lot.
Yes.
A lot. But I'm sure other people have things to add.
Repetition.
But yeah, repetition and the translation and picking out words and finding whatever little things we can to connect this line or this phrase or this sentiment so we can hold the meaning of it a little bit. But a lot of repetition.
Anyone else? Do you want to answer that question? To add to the repetition and...
So yeah, it's a lot of repetition, and also something I like to try to do is when I learn a new song, try to find it on YouTube or find an old recording. Oftentimes I listen to people singing it that aren't just myself or Fatah. So that's also important. Yeah. And I feel like it's like that's the fun of it for me, is just this opportunity to like get myself around all these sounds that I'm foreign to, and also again this opportunity of like, wow, having a chance to, build my tolerance and build my understanding of the world through the most precious things to me, which is like music, food, language, poetry, connection, and community. So I feel like the actual learning of something that's not my mother tongue, I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for like when we get a new song as a group. Because I feel like the struggle is like that kind of juicy, playful, fun time. Yeah.
Oh, wow, a challenger.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I just want to say it's incredibly difficult for me. I've been here for 10 years and I'm probably the least adept at what we're doing, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And a lot of the verses at first are like tongue twisters to me. Just a real tongue twister. And it's really so satisfying to get that. And also, I just know that it's really helping my brain. I think it's really good for my brain to keep working on this. And so sometimes I just, usually at first I just cannot get it at all. But then Fatah will get those words with the rhythm, and that will go to a different part of my brain where it's forever preserved, and it's like a sacred place. And then if I can, take it back out of there, because Fatah is a living library. I think he knows over, from what I can count, over 200 songs. Much more than that. And he's taught us at least 60. And, so it's quite challenging. He'll bring one up for a couple of years, and I have to relearn it. So that's it for me.
Good.
Right. It is challenging. It is extremely challenging to be able to sing with the same kind of soul. I mean, when I'm listening to you, I'm enjoying it as if I am listening to the locals singing it. And actually more interesting because I am seeing people who they didn't come from that country enjoying it. Like I was watching earlier when you were singing and dancing at the same time, and it seemed so easy, you know, some movements and things like that. So it just seemed so easy, and you're enjoying it, and it's not like, oh no, this is not, no, it's odd or different or weird. It wasn't. It was exactly as if I am in Morocco or listening to a Moroccan band. So well done. It's beautiful. Also, the question, also another question is that obviously I'm sure the learning the songs did open a huge door to the language, because obviously you've learned words, and Mr. Fatah explained what they mean, or at least in general what the song means, and so you have learned definitely a few words. Did that help you in your visits with, you know, to communicate with the locals when you went to Morocco? I mean, when I first came to UK, I didn't understand the words, especially when I went to Newcastle, even though I did English back home. But listening to the locals talking is not the same as, you know, learning the language or trying to communicate. How did this music impact on your conversations, communicating with people when you visited Morocco?
I think it's a really different part of the language, that this is coming from poetry, and there are some words, yes, that we learn, but it's not conversational Tamazight at all. There are two of us who are learning Tamazight, Sarah and Katie. I'm definitely too old. I'm past that.
No, never old to learn. I'm
You
sure.
say
No.
that at your age. But yeah.
So you discovered that the music, the literature music, is completely different from the locals' chats and conversations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, definitely, it didn't help me converse in the language, but the songs in and of themselves are a communication tool. You know, we would sit with people or, you know, meet them and start singing, and they start singing with us, and that is its own.
That is communicating, isn't it?
But I think it's safe to say that the learning the words of the songs, didn't for me translate very easily to communication in that way.
It is cool though. I've noticed that a lot of the words that I've learned in the songs, when I hear them in conversation, like, oh, it's been great for learning vocabulary, and that Amazigh people, when I say certain words, they're like, oh my gosh, you actually know the really old word that maybe I wasn't sure. So that's been a cool part, is just seeing like how there are those really old words that people are like, oh my gosh, I do remember like my grandmother saying that word. So that's
I like that expression. I like the expression of like people who they come, you know, to another country, and someone, maybe a local, who didn't hear a song for I don't know how many years, and then they hear it from someone who, it just very touching. It's beautiful. I think it's wonderful. It's another reason why this you know, school is important, and the reason why I wanted to do this interview and talk to you guys, because I wanted people to hear this. I wanted people to know the experience and the impacts and how powerful it is, and maybe someone would hear, okay, this Amazigh person or you know, a native went to another country and established a school, and then maybe they will hear it just like, okay, an ordinary kind of news. But when you watch the work and see how it's done and all the details, it isn't just a simple thing. It's a massive thing, and I am very impressed with it, to be honest. I congratulate you, I honestly do, and it touched me. I watched your videos on the social media. I have even shared it with certain diplomats and saying, this is what diplomatic means. This is what it means to show what you have in different cultures and share it with other cultures, because it opens your mind and blew you away. And also it says that everything is possible. Like lots of people think, oh no, I can't learn a culture. And another thing I would say is that in my country, for instance, in Libya, and I'm sure people from Libya are going to be watching this, who they don't speak Amazigh. We have a conflict where they say, okay, no, we can't learn the language. It's very difficult, but it's their language. It's the language of that land, and it opens your mind into a lot of things, to history, for instance. And I think you guys achieved that, and not only achieved it, you've also sent amazing messages to other people. So thank you for everything. Thank you for talking to me, and help me to explain everything without me having to talk about it. Also, I wish you the best. I don't think I have any more questions for you, but I would like to hear more music.
Yes, definitely. So
thank you.
You want to do
yes.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna have each of them do a song. I mean, most of them. So this song that Matthew is gonna sing is called Immi Hanna, which my dear mom. It's also by Izarn. We mainly do Rwais music, which is a whole different style of music. That's mainly what we do, some Gnawa. But we would take some of this kind of a hybrid music, between what's modern Amazigh and traditional. So it's like this whole type of style of music started like in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, with was it the same time, or was the Nasri one afterwards? 70s?
Yes, the same, exactly. It's the same time, yes. Good? Yes.
Wow, what vocals, Matthew!
This song that we're doing right now is called Sawala Zin, and it's by Fatima Tihahid. It's a Raisa. Yes, like all.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So she's really, really powerful voice and powerful lyrics and everything. And Angela is gonna
Lady in Black.
invite it. Lady in Black.
Lady in red and lady in black.
Sawala zina wali hanana
it's amazing. It's a beautiful song, and when Fatah said tahihit, obviously we know how powerful her voice is, and I thought, how is this gonna happen? And it was wonderful. Your voice is beautiful. It's really nice. It actually fits the song. So thank you for that.
This song is called Iznukad, and it's going to be interpreted by Katie. And it's a song of Al-Bansir, or is known as Dimsiri. But Al-Bansir is one of the famous poets of Ruwais, like really powerful poetry. And so that's like the same time or same era of Tahihit. Yes.
Mm. And you are playing the gombre. I mean, did you guys learn how to play it now with the school? As long, you know, with the songs, the instruments you're playing.
Yes.
Yes, we have been learning.
Yeah.
So you are already like you have the basics, but you learned a new instrument.
We started from scratch.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow! Oh my goodness!
Katie and Matthew have done music before.
I mean, all of us have done various musics before, but all
But
of us.
that is a scratch.
Oh, no, Katie.
No,
Oh, no.
you and Matthew have done music
Just
before.
you
and
two.
Sarah's
It's a
done singing.
combos.
So here is a thing. So some of the students, they had a little bit of the musical background. Some, they just listened to music, but they never really practiced it. But these instruments that Katie and Sarah are playing, we call it ribab in Morocco, but it's amzad. It's a special instrument. I mean, this type is specific to the Western High Atlas, Sus Valley, Anti-Atlas, to the borders also of the Sahara.
Yeah, Amzad is from the Sahara, but it is similar to the Gombri as well, isn't it?
A little bit. The Gombri has it's plucked, and this one is bowed. So it's a bowed instrument. It's horsehair. This one string, it's a mono string. One string is horsehair. The bow is horsehair. Also now they use nylon, but originally that's why it's Amzad.
Go vegan people.
Yes. So, but what's interesting about this is that we did not have a lot. I mean, maybe very, very rarely. I've been researching that we have like a woman here and there that played this instrument in the south of Morocco, but most of Tarraisin, or the women that are singing, they're not playing this instrument. And we want to kind of revolutionize that, to bring more women to be like all these new generations to start learning, not just the men, but women also to start playing the instrument. And these girls, when they started, and they were, when they started playing this ribab, it did influence, when they were seen via social media, it influenced a group of girls that also wanted to play this instrument, and they started in Morocco. Some young girls starting to learn this instrument. So it's an added value, and we really like to see more of the women playing that instrument.
And it's very interesting because in the south of Libya, in Muhar and Tiniri, or the Amazigh of Libya, of the desert, the ladies in Ubari, I mean, the old ladies and the tamghart, like you mentioned earlier, they actually make amzad. They make it. And they play it as well, but only on those areas because they still keep the old culture. But obviously the modernized areas are not. That was wonderful. I enjoyed that a lot. And it reminds me, I mean, what you created here is amazing because the struggles and the social justice and the conflicts that's happening, or it happened for many years in North Africa, or in the world where the natives are struggling all the time. It reminds me of a say for the founder of the New World Summit. His name is Jonas Staal, a Dutch artist, but he got involved in politics, and he believes that art is the best politics, that the artists are better politicians than the politicians, if you understand what I mean, that they can bring a vision from people and make it real. And that's exactly what you're doing, the vision of people coming together and enjoying things in peace. It's just so beautiful. So thank you for that.
Okay, so this song, it's really it's one of those traditional melodies. It's of unknown origin. So it might have started also with ahwash, which is like the tribal dance and poetry. And then it's taken by rawais that are considered like almost like the troubadours. And so you can find it, so many of these rawais repeated it or done it because it's festive. It's one of these festive songs that you change the lyrics. Everybody puts in the lyrics that they want. at a certain point, it's really funny. It's like it has this fun that she'd call in on people's names and saying, "Bring your drums so that we can have fun." So it's a little, it goes a little hard. She said, "Whoever doesn't want to have fun, their heart can explode." So it's a fun song. It's like really just it's festive and making fun. You know, it's like it's harsh, but in that kind of teasing, playful. You know.
Amazing. That's really, really nice. Wonderful. You've done amazingly well. So you do lahwash as well, which is it's quite difficult kinds of music, of all, you know, lots of different kinds of music in Amazigh in Morocco, but lahwash is a whole science, a whole book, and it has its rules and everything, and you've managed to do that so well. Amazing. So you're not only introducing the songs and the music, you're also introducing the history and the stories behind all this music and why it's been made, and like you mentioned earlier, calling the names, trying to invite people to sing and dance, and also they're not, you know, they're doomed in a way. But it's obviously just a taste, but it is really, really beautiful. It just makes you wanna, a person wants to join in. And that is really, really nice. Do you have more students, or like, are you thinking of going bigger and probably a whole institute?
Yes, definitely. I mean, definitely we have that idea. I mean, I have a few other students, you know, that are been joining us, but it seems like this is kind of the but there are other people that come and go to the classes. For like really, it would be, if we all put together on all the people that been through this, it would be like close to like 25, 30 people in general, something like that, like on and off. But this group of people is like the core people that are, you know, like very, very committed, and you know, more than the others. But definitely, I have an idea. Just recently, it's brewing in my mind of connecting with the music department of the community college here or the university, and saying if they would want someone to start teaching a rebab. Because I mean, in the beginning, I was thinking, oh man, you know, like they might need you to go to school to get a degree to start teaching there, but actually, no, because they started a whole program of gamelan music at the UCSC that the person didn't have any academic training. He only learned traditionally gamelan music, and they started a whole thing. So it's something that I need to work on and see and propose it to them. Then if they want, then we're going to bring a container of rebabs from Morocco. We're going to bring a container of rebabs here.
That gives me that brings into my mind this question, and you know how people, as they say, train the trainee or teach the teacher, and obviously with this experience that you had, obviously you have had a vision before. You didn't know how it's going to be in reality, but now you do have at least an idea. And would you say that you probably even have other teachers helping you teaching from the students, like graduate? You know what I'm saying? Like you started a school, you're teaching students. There will be a time when they become probably teachers themselves, and teaching with you. And this way, like you've started a whole school with even putting curriculums like the history of music in Morocco. You know, that would be like theory kind of lessons, and then practical teaching, maybe dancing hawash and things like that. So would that be a vision for the future?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, all this, you know, the people that were here that were like the core and very close to this thing, I'm sure, you know, not far, if they're going at this pace, that they would be able actually to start teaching, if nothing, just at least the basics, you know, to other people. So absolutely, you know, I have that idea, and of course, you know, they have to want to do that also. And if they want to do it, yes, definitely. And we did an experience of a small camp, you know, it was in like a music camp. It was on November, and we might expand on that also, you know, like to include other people from other places to start. We will, you know, it's going to be the Amazigh music camp, you know. So
nice.
For like 4 days or something, just in the desert, and camp out and play music and cook tagines.
Yes, very important. Anyone else is there another song that you guys want to share, or
one more?
So this song is going to be sang by Nancy, and it's kind of the modern pop music that takes from traditional music and puts it in a kind of a fun modern way with modern instruments. And this style of music is very recent. It started just in the 80s, late 80s, actually, by this band called Udaden. You know, it's a pop like a band, and they take from different things, like from Tegnawit, or what they call Gnawa, from any types of music. They take that music and they make it kind of danceable, fun, you know, like really
African rhythms.
Exactly. So this song is called you know, Ilham, you know, the Ilham, that's actually Arabic, and Zgoum in Amazigh, but you know, it's taken from Tegnawit, but Tegnawit that's done in Tamazight, you know, in the south, the Gnawa people that from the south. So
Interesting.
and yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it goes like this.
music.
It's fancy.
Yes, it's beautiful. How did it feel, Nancy?
Oh, it feels great.
Well, thank you so much. Amazing energy, really beautiful vibes, and I've enjoyed this episode so much. So thank you very much. And I wish you a very wonderful journey next trip to Morocco. And definitely this is not going to be the last meeting. We are definitely going to meet up with you again to see, you know, what's new with your music. And thank you, Fatah, for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're the best.
So there you had it. It is possible to be part of a culture that's completely new, and whatever you want to do, basically you can do if you just make up your mind. Anyways, thank you very much for joining us, and please subscribe to LV and watch Hadith Libu or Libu Talk. Until I see you next time.